Yeah, hello all friends. Welcome to the session. We're just continuing from last session. We were going over the Toltec wisdom of four agreements. And before I start the session, my salutations to Pitama Patriji and Dr. GK sir, and humble pranams to all of you. Welcome, friends. So last session, we were going over the main points of just give me a brief review of what happened in the last session. So we were going over the Four Agreements book, and the Toltec wisdom is very age old, from thousands of years. It has been passed from generation to generation, and for some time it was hidden, and later it was brought out uh, for everyone to get the benefit of this wisdom through these books, Toltec Wisdom series book. Um, Toltec Wisdom series book by Don Miguel Ruiz and Janet Mills. And we're talking about dreams. It's like we are dreaming all the time. So it's nothing but mitote, like the Toltec wisdom says, it's a mitote or illusion or kind of maya, that we are like a smoky mirror. We are not able to reflect each other because we have that fog because of our own opinions, the own agreements we've made. And by the domestication of the universe, domestication of the planet, and our personal domestication, our belief systems or what we think about ourselves are like that. So we were just, I'll just continue from there. So what we think is usually love based or fear based. So something we like very much, or something which puts us in fear. So we keep making agreements, and we spend all our energy, all our power in keeping those agreements, making those agreements first, and the rest of all the energy we are using it to keep those agreements. So we are using all our power on that, and we're feeling powerless. Why? Because we are not able to change. We can regain our power, get that energy when we break our agreements. That creative energy we can use to make new agreements, but we don't realize that we'll be stuck with those agreements we have made about others, others have made about us, and we make on ourselves. So how to change those kind of dreams, how to change those agreements, regain our personal power, the self-love we have, the create power we have, and the energy. So that is like a inner, so because the change is happening from within, isn't it? Because no matter the changes, n number of changes are happening on the outside, we don't take to be wary of it, or take agreement with that, or make agreement with that. When the change is from inside, when the change is from inside out, then that is the true change, that is the true transformation that happens. And when we transform from inside, that reflects in all areas of our life. People notice the change that we have, because we are trying to reflect upon what I'm thinking. Is it true for me? Does it hold good what I'm thinking about myself? We start reflecting about those. And when we change, the people around also see the change that is in us, be our family members, be our neighbors, our co-workers or friends. People around see the change. They feel that energy shift, isn't it? So how do we change that? We can change it easily by following the four agreements. So the most important agreement is the one we make with ourselves, isn't it? The best or worst person, like I always said, the best or worst person that can be with us is ourselves. It's true for each one of us, isn't it? So these are the four agreements. Be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions, and always do your best. These are the four agreements, and we will go over it one by one. So the first agreement is be impeccable with your words. So as soon as we hear that, the first thing comes to our mind. What is it that first comes to our mind? Be impeccable with your words. So that time we think about, okay, we should be very careful about what we talk, isn't it? So we should be very careful about what we talk. So what we talk usually reflects from what we hear, what we see, what we think, isn't it? So from the basis of from our thought level, from our from what we hear, based on those, we will try to speak, isn't it? So that is power of words, very, very powerful. Like if I say the word swords and you have the words inside the word swords. So words can be like swords, isn't it? And we should use it very carefully. It can be very soothing, words can be very soothing, very loving, can give peace. I can use my words to give peace to others. I can use my words to make somebody else to feel bad, isn't it? We many times do both, isn't it? Sometimes depending on our situation, depending on the person we are, we use the words, but we should be very careful how it goes and reaches the other person. Words can be soothing, loving, healing. Words can be very healing, isn't it? When we wish someone very well from our heart, it can be so healing to our near and dear ones. And the same words, when used blatantly, ballistically, can be disastrous, can be very hazardous to the people around us with the way how we use our words. Isn't it, friends? So this first agreement is very simple. When we hear be impeccable with your words. When I hear that, sounds very simple, but very, very powerful. Isn't it? Because when I think, okay, what I should speak, it shows me different areas that I need to cover to be very careful with my words, but very difficult to um, bring it into action. But with constant effort, we can definitely do it. It's power of words, power of speech. It's a gift. It's a manifestation. It's magic. Words can be very magical. Words are very magical, isn't it? Like I said, they can be so healing, soothing. So that is our communication ability. Even, some situations will come. You would have seen many people around you. You will feel like it is a mountain. It can be your friends, one of your parent, your father, mother, or your sibling, anybody. You sometimes will feel, okay, this is such a mountain of task. Oh, this is so difficult. I cannot do it. They'll come to you and talk it in a way you feel, oh, this is all to it. It is so easy. They'll make it so easy. You don't feel like, they'll remove that burden of out of our heads. Isn't it? We know so many people in our lives like that. And the reverse is also very true. When you say, okay, probably I can do this, people might, around say, oh, this is very difficult. I know I tried, it can be kind of an influence on you trying to discourage you, isn't it? So words are for communication effectively. So we should use it very, very carefully and diligently, because it is a creative power. We can create through our words, we can create that magic that can help ourselves and others around us. It is like a force. Like what do you say? It's like water, it is very soft but very powerful, very forceful, right? Like that, words are very powerful. What we speak weighs a lot on people around us, and for ourselves, what we keep thinking in our mind, what we talk about ourselves has a lot of weight. So we would have also heard the words from the Bible. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word is God. So we should be very careful about the words we utter. So in spiritual tablets also, you would have heard about optimal diet. Optimal diet is nothing but nothing but not only the food that goes inside our body, but other inputs that should be very optimal. What we think, what we see, what we speak, what we hear, everything should be very, very optimal, not misused. So here, how the word comes, like I said earlier, the intent, that is like the seed form of the word. Whenever we think something, it has an intention behind it that gives a feeling to it, and that comes out as word. So with what intention we are telling, it is very, very important. So that word transforms into, then later it transform into action, isn't it? So that intention is very important. Words can change a situation, try to um, change the way we think, feel. It can either make us a slave of those words and make us feel very bad, hurt, and not able to come out of it, feel depressed, or words can free us and make us feel better about ourselves. So words can be used, words are very soothing, and words can be used as a weapon. They're just like seeds. We should be very careful. So today I plant, say some um, plant which I don't want. So I should always plant the seed which I want. So I plant a seed which I don't want, and when it grows up, oh, this is not I want, this is not what I wanted, isn't it? So that is what it becomes. The intention behind that form is like the seed. What we put, what we talk, everything matters a lot. So what we talk to others, we should not, like I said, optimal diet. We should not waste our energy in gossiping. We can maintain silence sometime. If we don't want to tell something hurtful, we can always think and be in silence and keep those hurting words to ourselves and not tell the other person, and modulate it very well and convey the message to the other person, which they'll take it positively and really helps them. Words should be always like that. We should streamline like that. Say, if it's like in a factory, some raw materials they are making, okay, say they're making some dolls, and it is made of, say, some kind of wax. If we sell only the wax, okay, this is only the doll, people will buy it? No, it has a process, it goes through some process, then the finished products comes. We can think like that, what is happening in our mind, how our mind is processing the intentions and thoughts we are getting. Like that, we should give it, we should convey it in a proper way. Then it will reach that person, then they'll beautifully try to understand what you're trying to tell them, isn't it? Then, and how we perceive, this constant. So I wanted to tell here, the word impeccable comes from the word, Latin word peccatus, that means sin. Im means without, that is without sin. So we tell anything that should not be harmful or sinful. That is what it means by impeccable. We should speak or do something in a way which is not a sin. That is what it means. So what is sin? Sin is when we're trying to judge, because we are doing it all the time. We are judging others, others are judging us, and we are self-judging also. And same thing with blame. We are blaming others, others are blaming us, and we are blaming ourselves. So that is sin. We should not judge, we should not blame. So like Patriji says, no complaints, no judgment, all golden words, isn't it? So much applicable. When we apply, half of the burden we feel about something reduces. We feel so free. That is the freedom that we give to ourselves by making these golden agreements. No judgment, no complaints. And then we keep on doing this judging, blaming, judging on ourselves also. And when we keep on doing profusely on ourselves, we reject ourselves. So we're rejecting, we are not accepting ourselves. We're rejecting so many parts of us. The way we think, our thoughts about ourselves. Oh, I'm good for nothing. I know I can't do this. I know I cannot do this. I know I cannot complete this. So self-death is like rejection. Self-rejection is like death. That's like a death sentence that we're giving to ourselves. So what we think in our mind, that self-talk is very, very important. Like I've reiterated it many, many times. that the best or worst person that can be with ourselves is ourselves only. So what we talk inside our mind, that self talk, has to be very, very optimal, isn't it? And definitely meditation is one of the tool to make it optimal, what we are thinking, our thoughts, reducing our thoughts, and using positive thoughts about ourselves, reinforcing it. It's a practice. Nothing comes in a day. It's a practice, consistent practice. It's just like, say, somebody's practicing badminton. So they practice for a week and do they go and play a tournament? No, it requires consistent, regular, constant practice every single day. Then only they'll slowly start playing matches at their own group, and then go on like this, play many, many matches, and then go and play the tournament, isn't it? It is same thing is applicable here. So we keep talking about others, okay, the gossiping factor, okay, I'm thin, I'm fat, that person, oh, that person is so tall, so short, so thick, so thin, oh, they have extra straight hair, curly hair, so many things, right? So that opinion is nothing but on whichever topic or things I have opinions about. That means I have made so many agreements. And over a period of time, that thinking agreements become the belief system, it becomes a belief. And then belief starts manifesting. When I say I start my work itself, I say, I know, this I cannot do it. I know it will really go bad. And I keep on doing it for over a period of time, definitely that work will not be good. I'll manifest it, isn't it? Because I keep on opinionating about it on myself, and it becomes an agreement I make with myself. And I started believing it, it becomes a belief. And then I start manifesting it. It starts showing up in my life, isn't it? So whenever we have an agreement, we make an agreement with ourselves, or somebody is telling, or we feel, okay, these things I'm not able to do, and we have that low self-esteem, we are not able to put that kind of energy, positive energy, so that manifests. So what happens, we should always take an opportunity, and take opportunities and create one more instance to break that agreement and show and say, okay, I did this time, wow, fantastic. We should appreciate ourselves and say, okay, this is not, when we do that, we get confidence. Okay, I understood now. My abilities, capabilities are not this limited, what I had thought. I can do much more. I'm able to do this, isn't it? We can do that. And then when we change our belief system, then it becomes a belief, and that manifests what we have changed, because we have made a new agreement. So whenever we break an agreement, we regain that energy, use that creative force to create a new agreement. And when I start believing, yes, I can do it, yes, because I did that right now, and have seen for myself, I keep on believing in myself, that becomes a belief, yes, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. And then it starts manifesting, isn't it? So anything, as a outcome of our self talk to ourselves and others, can be so many different emotions, anger, jealousy, envy, because the intention, like I said, very important. Somebody is passing some comments, it can be anything, it at the root of it can be jealousy, envy, and it can change to hate, dislike, and it can change to revenge, and the bottom of it they have that fear, because they feel they are not good enough. It is coming out of their agreement, that they have made with themselves. Likewise, our imposition of our own opinions on others, because we are just trying to project our opinions on others, because of our own agreements. So we try to create all these things, you know between different countries, different kinds of people, races, families, nations, all these things. And we have seen, the world has seen 2 world wars, how powers of words were misused to divide people and creating so much of destruction of mankind, isn't it? So the power of words is very, very crucial, how we become progressive in helping everyone, um, to follow the power of words. Words, if it is used destructively, it'll lead only to destruction. So, and coming to hear about the cellular biologist Bruce Lipton, he says beliefs and thoughts alter cells in your body. So the belief, because we have so many trillions of cells in our body, every cell in your body is like a battery. They are just like your followers. We think we are not okay. I didn't utter a word. I was just quiet. But your thought also, that intention, that seed, what I'm thinking, the trillion cells are listening. Trillion cells at any given point in time, though even we are not telling a word also, but the emotions we carry inside ourselves, the intention, the thoughts inside, every cell in our body is listening, and they are our followers. And if we fill it with love, harmony, how the cell will be. Imagine this is re-energizing the cells. So whatever we think, believe, it is going to every cell of our body on physical level, isn't it? And all the other things, otherwise, the emotions of hate, jealousy, envy, anger, just feel, say, if I feel a 10-second of anger, very kind of rage, imagine what will happen to all the cells. They also go in a, because they're just reflecting your own emotions. It affects, isn't it? So we should be very, very kind to ourselves, to our own cells in our body. They're just following, they're just reflecting, they're just mirrors what we feel, they also feel. Isn't it? If you fill it with love and harmony, how you feel? You feel so good, isn't it? You feel so blessed, isn't it? So what should we do? So we should always take responsibility, not blame anyone. So we should always see something is happening. Okay, now how should I address this? Just take a back seat and say, okay, what should I do? Instead of reacting, speaking words which shouldn't be spoken, abuse and things like that. So we should take responsibility of that, how we project, what we want to project, what we want to learn. So we should take responsibility of our own intention, thoughts, speech, and action. Then life will be good, because see, what we give, it comes back. Yes, according to law of karma, yes, what we give, we get back. What we sow is that we reap. But say, there were two people, say person A, person B. A says something very hurtful to B. Okay, B feels that anger, that hurt, that sadness. So A is giving hurt to B, and B is also giving the depression or hurt back to A. So what we're giving, that we're getting back. And we see oneness consciousness. If I hurt someone, I'm hurting myself. Someone is hurting me, they're hurting themselves, right? So it is coming back because we are not making them feel good. If I make someone feel good by words and say calming, soothing words, they'll feel good. That energy is coming back to me. It is reflecting back to me. So we should always be with that right energy, truth, and love. So with every intention we have in our mind, we're making an agreement. Okay, here there's a story. I'll go over it. There were a mother and daughter, very loving mother and daughter duo. One day, what happened? The mother came back from work and she had a very bad headache, very, very bad headache. And she was trying to, sit back and relax. Okay, how shall I relax? She was thinking about it. And at the very same time, her daughter, she was in her room, she was practicing a song. She was singing, and very nicely she was singing. And she was so immersed in her song, she was enjoying her song. And so when she was immersed in her own singing and enjoying that, her voice became more little louder and louder, and she was completely in that song, and she was happily enjoying that song. And then here the mother, her headache was increasing more and more, and she didn't know what to do. For some time she was quiet and she didn't know to do. Then she got very, very annoyed. And then she went back to the little girl's room and she said, "Oh, just stop singing. You sing so ugly." And she walked back. She didn't realize what she said. She just went back to her place and trying to relax and get over that headache. So this little girl was so shocked. She felt so bad. She was very sad. After that day, she stopped singing. And there were many occasions in her school where her teachers, her classmates, everybody told, "Okay, sing a song." She told, "No, no, I'm not in a mood to sing." And any occasion comes, she would somehow escape that occasion where she doesn't want to sing because she started believing. She didn't know her mother, just because she had the headache, she said that because she was a little girl, whatever her mother said, she made an agreement with that. She accepted it. Her mother's opinion at that point in time, she accepted it, made an agreement with that opinion. She started believing in it. And she said, "Yes, no, I sing very ugly. I sing very ugly. I'm not going to sing." She started believing and she stopped singing. So mother could have handled it differently. She could have said, "Dear girl, I'm having a headache, so you practice it tomorrow," or something like that. But they didn't realize, just she said. But it impacted the girl so much. Such a nice girl who was singing, and singing nicely. She started feeling she's singing really bad, ugly. And she believed it and she stopped singing, isn't it? So we should be very, very careful when dealing with children at home too. All the parents, grandparents, family members, extended family, neighbors, what we speak to the children is very, very crucial. So we should be impeccable with our words, what we say, how we convey it, because they'll start accepting it and believing in it, isn't it? So, so when we say, so sometimes, many times, the worst part we do is trying to justify. We, okay, we say some hurtful words to someone, and then I say in my heart, I'll feel, okay, anyways, I know that person that day, she did like that, you know, she didn't do good for me. So this serves good. So I don't feel anything. So when we start justifying our own bad behavior, that means we are making another agreement and not trying to rectify our own mistakes or the intentions that we have about others. So it becomes a blame. Oh, it's not me, their fault, my fault, blame. Seeing the word blame itself, it's me, it's there. So we should not blame anyone. Should take responsibilities. How shall I correct this? So there's another story, there's a story of a neighbor. She got dressed herself beautifully and she went out. Her neighbor was always envious of her. Okay. And this girl didn't know. This person didn't know about it. She was just casually hi bye and she meant well for everyone. So she dressed up beautifully and she wanted to go out. She was going out somewhere. So the neighbor suddenly comes and say, "Oh my God. Oh, what have you done to yourself? Why are you looking like this?" And she made a very awkward expression. And then the neighbor, she believed in that and she went back and changed her clothes. And she just wore some plain clothes and she went back. So here two things happened. The neighbor believed in her envious neighbor, what she was trying to tell. She believed in that. She couldn't have, okay, is it so, but I like it very much. She could have just made another agreement and say, okay, it's okay if others don't like it. I like what I wore. I know I feel very confident in it. And she would have gone ahead. So, but she believed in it and she went and changed her clothes, which beautiful clothes she was wearing. She was looking very nice, but she went and changed, isn't it? Because here the intention of her neighbor was envy. She was jealous of her. So that blaming whom, so where is it all leading to? So we should be able to forgive others and ourselves. So that's why we say we should keep our power with ourselves. We should never give away our power to someone else. Here the neighbor gave away the power to her envious neighbor, isn't it? So she was not able to keep her power with her. It's okay, doesn't matter. I like it and I'll go with it. She could have thought in her mind. She could have just said her neighbor, "Oh, is it so? Well, I'll see what I can do about it." And just in her mind, okay, I like it, I'll go ahead with this. She could have kept the power with her, but she gave away the power to her neighbor. So, in all circumstances, many people around, we don't know what intentions they have because it is coming out of their opinions, their agreements they have made over a long time. And we should not get disturbed by that. So, we should see, especially here, the children things here, in Toltec wisdom, they keep talking about children because the younger generation and how they are groomed. So that will carry forward. So we should change in a way that we should lead by example, not okay, do this, do that. What the parents do, the children also just follow, just lead by example. It shouldn't become like I say something and I don't do it and tell my child. How will they follow? Isn't it? We should always lead by example. We should do whatever we think we should first do, then the children will follow. So, what is the truth? Here, if the neighbor in the story, for example, if the neighbor had thought, okay, what is the truth? What is the intention behind my neighbor? Even if though she didn't know at that point in time, the neighbor was jealous or envious, she could have thought, okay, what is the truth? Okay, this dress is a nice color. This is a nice pattern. Looks good on me. Yes, I did see in the mirror. I feel good wearing it. She could have checked with herself. That truth would have set her free. The truth will set us free. That's what it is. So here, the gossiping is like a computer virus. What happens when a virus is there? It infects the system, right? Whatever the normal operations comes to a standstill. It stopped working, isn't it? Like that, our gossiping is like a computer virus. Others keep doing it with us. We also keep doing it with us. Wherever we go, we put that virus in everybody's minds, and others also keep doing that. So we should keep a good antivirus within ourselves and trying to think what is the truth. We should be always be in that awareness. So that is our antivirus. If you're aware, then we are able to perceive things and say, okay, this is correct, this is not. Okay, this is what I'm supposed to take. Okay, this is what I'm supposed to not take. So all these reflections will come. So it can be people gossip because they want attention, because they feel they don't want to be left out, they want the support, they want the acceptance. And it keeps happening everywhere, from our home, school, college, workplace, wherever we go, right? It keeps around every part of the world. So that's what it's called, that illusion. The Toltec wisdom, it says mitote. That's like 1,000 voices heard. It's like 1,000 voices are heard at the same time. So it's so much of confusion, isn't it? And so I have already told about how we keep justifying and we feel, um, being defensive of our own habits, of our own beliefs, of our own behavior, words. We should not do that. Trying to justify, then there is no when we reflect upon our own deeds, then we don't justify. We always think, okay, how shall I correct this? So that awareness is very important. So we should make this agreement. I am impeccable with my word. We should do it every day, every single day, whenever we come across things like that, or just as soon as we get up in the morning and before going to sleep, I am impeccable with my word. I am impeccable with my word. We should keep reiterating like an affirmation. So how do we check how we became impeccable? So when we speak something that should give us joy, is it true? When we already know, our inner self knows. If something we say doesn't give us joy, that peace, we may say something and after some time we regret it so badly. So that is not impeccability. So what is the measure of impeccability? Whenever we speak something, we feel, even after so long. So we should always speak in a way we don't regret it after a day, after a week, after 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. At that moment, what was the best, we should do that. So that when we say words are impeccable, that should come from a place of joy. We should always feel that joy and peace. So we should share our love and we should self love, motivate ourselves and motivate others around us. That will give us that success, freedom, and abundance, and move away from fear to joy and love. So, this is the first agreement. Going to the second agreement, don't take anything personally. Why did they say this? Let's see. So, because we have so much immersed in our own personal importance that we see, okay, this is all about me. Everybody is talking about me. We cross this, like, okay, somebody is talking to people. I know they are talking about me. I know. You know, they and we go to some other place by walking, and there a group of people are talking. They're just laughing. They're just having a nice time because they're all friends. They're just talking. I know they're laughing at me. So our belief system, because okay, everything is about me, I'm the center of my world, we keep playing this. We are the director, actor, script writer, everything we write and say, okay, everything is about me, it's all about me, and we carry that emotional thing, because and when somebody else says something, like I said before, it coming from their opinions, what they've gone through, it is the agreements they have made with themselves. So why this is happening, why we take everything personally? Because of the domestication that happened with us. So we think that we take everything personally and responsible for everything. So that is what it says here. Even when a situation seems so personal, even if others insult you directly, it has nothing to do with you. What they say, what they do, and the opinions they give are according to the agreements they have in their own minds. Their point of view comes from all the programming they received during domestications. So all their opinions, beliefs. So we should always think, okay, oh, is it so? Somebody is telling you, didn't like, oh, is it so? In your mind, okay, that is their opinion. That's not mine. So why it comes? Why people keep, why they take things personally? Because they want to be a part of that group. They don't want others approval. It is so important being social beings, being a part of a community, being part of a society, being part of a group of people. We always want to be inclusive. We don't want to be left out. So even if they say somebody is commenting on something, and having an opinion about everything, just because we want to be part of that group, we just say something which we don't even feel. It happens many a times, most of the times, right? So we don't have to be, because why that is coming, why we want somebody else to accept us, but it is coming from a place of guilt, fear. We feel sad that we are not a part of that group, of fear. There's a lot of inner conflict. Why we want somebody else to accept? Because we are not self-accepting. We are not accepting ourselves. We are not approving ourselves. We're not loving ourselves. So we're just looking outside everywhere. We're constantly seeking others' approval. And the mind, self-talk, like I said before, very, very important. What we talk, mind has its own power. It can talk and hear to itself, isn't it? When I say now, it feels little odd, but that is the capacity of the mind. It can talk to itself and hear itself. And it is doing like that all the time in our waking state, right? We don't remember when we sleep. So that inner voice is another reality. Here sometimes they call here Toltec people allies. They call them the gods. Sometimes you hear your inner voice. They connect it to gods. It is maybe they heard something from some other realm or something like that. So they keep here. They mention about multi-dimensional reality, that we exist in different dimensions and things like that. So here they say the self-talk we make to ourselves, every thought that we are having, every agreement is like a separate living being. Every agreement that we believe in ourselves and we have agreed upon is a separate living being. It has its own personality and its own voice. There are conflicting agreements that go against other agreements, and on until it becomes a big war in the mind. Again, here they talk about the mitote. There's so much of confusion in the mind, like thousands of words speaking at the same time. There is no clarity. There's only confusion. So why? Because why it comes? because we are addicted to suffering because of the opinions we have made, because of the domestication. And somebody is going through something, we find out people, having the same thing, and we find company in that misery. We can do otherwise also, collect people, enforce positivity, increase energy, can do group meditation. So many things are there. But we find talking about the same negative things. What we had negative self-talk, we do it in the negative self-talk in the group as well, and increase the misery more. So we should be always honest with what we are feeling and thinking. So when we apply the second agreement, we feel return of that freedom. We value ourselves more. The trust on ourselves becomes more. So all is it because it is trying to create awareness. Self-awareness is very, very, very important to reinforce this agreement. So when we come to this, if somebody is hurting, it's intentional, or they just by mistake it happened, we become immune to it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't hurt us. We are beyond that. Our thinking has become beyond that. Okay, they said, okay, I don't know, maybe they had a bad day. I don't know what the girl was going through. Maybe, I don't know. We can just say, we always give that benefit of doubt, not take everything into heart. So that's why that's the main thing here, not to take anything personally. So this, by using this first and second agreement, our life can become so much better. We feel so much free. We come out of that cage. We free ourselves without having that ego. When ego comes into play, then it's very, very difficult to come out of this. It will not help us at all, because when ego is in play, we take everything personally. So we should make it, if somewhere we should write it and keep, or use sticky notes, put it in the morning where you can see, or on fridge, and it will be, following these two agreements, it's like a barrier, it's like a bubble. We are walking, though a lot of people are saying a lot of things around us, it doesn't matter to us. We are in that freedom of self-awareness, so it doesn't matter to us anymore. We become like that. So trust yourself to make responsible choices. You're never responsible for the actions of others. You're only responsible for you. So we should take that responsibility always. So we're moving on to the third agreement. Just don't make assumptions. Why? Okay, is it so? Let us see. So we have this, right? We keep making opinions as if it's about everything and everyone around us. And here, same thing, mitote. What is that? Illusion, Maya. Like 1,000 voices speaking at the same time. And we are not ready to listen to someone else and try to get to the truth of what it is. We keep assuming. Okay, you call up a friend, and that friend didn't pick up your call. Then after 30 minutes, you have a thought, oh, I think purposely she didn't pick up. I know she doesn't want to talk to me. Then after 1 hour, you'll say, oh, she's not my friend anymore. She's up to something. That's why she didn't pick up my call. And then after some time, towards the end of the day, you get a call or a message from your friend that, my phone the battery had discharged completely, drained out. The phone had switched off, and I was in a place where I couldn't charge. I was stuck in the traffic or something. I was returning home. I couldn't do. After getting back home, I charged, and I didn't even know you had called up. I'm just giving you a call back. So many things happening, but we keep assuming from, okay, she was my friend, to, okay, I think she's not my friend and she's doing something against me. Just assuming. So our assumption just takes us to, from one negative thought, goes and on and on and on and on. And we don't even know where we landed up. So we should not assume. We should always give that benefit of doubt. Okay, maybe she's busy. She'll call back. So we can save so much of energy of ours by not assuming, just not thinking, not giving power to that negative thought. We can just put a gate there and say, okay, I'll just park it for now. I called her back, let her call back. So we create, when we get that no, when the friend called here, her truth, whatever she assumed, it bursted like a bubble. And in that all the emotional things she was going through, so many things, assumptions that affects a lot, right? It's going negative, negative, negative. So why do we justify? Because we want to feel safe, same accepted, because we are so used to same pattern of thoughts, and we like, suffering. That is what it said in the previous agreement too. So with that, we should always not make assumptions. That is, then why we should not make assumptions? Because all the sadness and drama you have lived in your life was rooted in making assumptions and taking things personally. So we take everything personally, we make all the assumptions. Imagine life will only be only drama, drama, drama. There will be nothing else. Why? Because we think what I think everybody is thinking. What is true for me, it is true for everyone. What I feel, everybody is feeling. Again, we feel it's all about me, me, me. How I judge something, everybody does the same thing. How I have fear about something, everybody. So we think everybody is judging, everybody is victimizing. So that way we give away our power, and we feel, okay, why I'm being a victim, and things like that. Because we already have that notion of me, me, and me. We keep thinking, because that is the way human mind works. So when we come out of this, no, I think it's something else. Why should they talk about it? They have got better things to do in their life. It is not about me. When we think, when we know the truth, when we be positive and give that benefit of doubt and be in that awareness, then we can get over not assuming things, isn't it? Then why it comes? Why we keep making here? They talk about love. What is love? It is love situations in our lives. That we have made personal agreements. With our spouse, or it can be in friendship. It can be parents, children. So we make assumptions. Okay, how do we make assumptions? When we make assumptions, we are creating problems. We're building just air castles. We just in our thoughts we're just building, which is not doesn't exist, and we keep assuming. Okay, somebody is there. There is not. Two people are there. The girl says, okay, I love this person, and the people say, okay, there are some nature, maybe it will not suit. She'll say, okay, my love will change that person. Just assuming, because what a person's nature is part of their journey, and make the assumptions. The partners know what we think, isn't it? Many times it happens. We think the other person will understand even without saying. That is the biggest assumption we make. We think they can understand us without talking to them. They can understand the feelings. They understand what I want. I don't have to tell. These are all assumptions. So it's like creating more problems. And it's like if they don't do what we assume, we always say, okay, you should have known. Isn't it? It's creating problems because it's just assuming. So the best thing to do is ask questions, be with the truth, clarify, communicate. So if I make an agreement, it's not safe to ask questions, then I'll always live in assumptions, my own preconceived notions, isn't it? So we always think, because and then again become defensive. Oh yeah, what I'm thinking is right, what I'm feeling is right, isn't it? So why we are not able to accept someone else? We are not able to accept. Again, it all comes to the basic quality of self acceptance. When we self accept ourselves, then there is no way of rejecting ourselves, because that's a huge clarity that we get. And being introspective, being reflective of how we think, that's very, very important. And some habit over a period of time we keep on doing repeatedly, that becomes a thinking pattern. Then again it becomes a belief. Like I said earlier, it becomes an addiction also. Many times habit done over a period of time consistently becomes an addiction, and it manifests, that is, it becomes a part of their nature, isn't it? So we should always gather information and ask questions and be the truth. So it is better to clarify and communicate very clearly. This is we coming to the fourth agreement. So it says, always do your best. So the fourth agreement is about the action of the first three. So here it says, under any circumstance and at any point in time, do your best, no less, no more. So the best keeps changing on how we are feeling. How we feeling? Wonderful, joyful, sad, upset, angry. Because it keeps changing, isn't it? It is not like like a degree we get or a certificate we get. It keeps changing on a daily basis, moment to moment. It keeps changing, isn't it? According to the situation, circumstances that we are going through. That moment can change in one moment, 1 hour, one day. What is best that time we do it, right? We're supposed to do it. So what is good for yourself, the family, community at large. So here the story tells a story of monk and his disciple. So he asked the disciple asked a person, he was so fed up of suffering and all. He said to the monk, okay, I wanted to meditate. Okay, if I meditate like 4 hours, so will it change? So the master said, oh, that will take some time. So he said, okay, I'll meditate upwards for 8 years. He said, then it will take even more longer. Yes, why is it? I'm meditating more. Why I should not do it? So here the monk is trying to explain him the middle path. So it's not only about meditation. The meditation energy and the reflections of peace and calm should flow to the rest of your day as well. Because I meditate for one day morning sometime, and I'm say annoyed all the time the rest of the day. It doesn't help. That peace, that calmness, that assertiveness, that clarity, that reflection should, pass to just seep into the rest of my day in whatever I do, isn't it? So we should, with that, we should be happy and we should be loving and do our best, isn't it? And do the best for others as well. So here the author talks about this. We always have this award and reward system with us. Why? Because we say a person is going to work, okay, and he knows at the end of that month he's going to get the salary, and it's like over that week, Monday comes, it's like, oh god, Monday blues, today Monday, okay, Tuesday with so much difficulty, okay, we push that, okay, and then just waiting for Friday, because we want that money. So we just waiting for that reward, award and reward. So, and over a period of time, even if we don't like doing that job, we do it because we know at the end of that month we get that salary and we are able to pay our bills and our wants are increasing. We have to pay we have to pay the EMIs for so many things. We have to take care of the house expenses and things like that. Why? And over a period of that person is completely drained out because he's doing something, is just forcing upon himself because that money is required, not enjoying that work and doing. So why he or she is not able to do the best? Because taking action when they expect a reward and they don't enjoy the action. So what happens? We'll take a different scenario here. So when we are able to do the best, when we clearly define what is our need and want, and we get some idea and we try to work upon that, and why we are always in this, okay, that person is like in the previous example, he's in that mode of, okay, just dragging himself to work on Monday and just waiting for Saturday. Every week on week it is happening, every month on month it is happening, and over a period of time, why it is happening? Because the person is not enjoying what he's doing. And if we do some work without expecting a reward, okay, I'm doing it because I'm enjoying it, not to please anyone, because I want to please myself. So why? Because doing my best at any given task makes, gives a feel of satisfaction, job satisfaction, isn't it? We feel happy about it. So we are not, holding on to the results, and we are manifesting the joy. So we are making agreement to be kind with myself. So here in the previous scenario, the person is not kind on themselves. They're just doing something monotonous, and over a period of time, they're not even enjoying. They lost that enjoyment. So when we make an agreement to have that kindness upon ourselves, okay, I can do this much, I'll do my best, like that, every day, encouraging oneself, self-motivating. Yes, I will do my best. If we have that attitude, that becomes a habit. And we always have a choice to make it worst or best. Isn't it? We always have a choice. So we should make the right choice, righteous choice. So we should say, what is the affirmation here? I do my best in everything I do and feel. So here, very, very important. We always were born with the right to be happy. Uh, you were born with the right to love and share your love. So we should have that patience, not without getting annoyed, surrenderance. Living in the past pain can give us only pain again. We can only look back to the past for all the good memories, right? And be in the present moment and be affirmative of what we want and enjoy that every moment. Then, when we are in that present moment, we can do our best. So it is like here it is said that first three agreements will work only when we do follow the fourth agreement. It's just like the fourth agreement that I will do my best is like the engine, and the other three agreements are following. So, in that way, we are able to transform ourselves like from a caterpillar to the butterfly. We're able to, the more we are able to practice, the more we're honest about ourselves, and we say, okay, okay, this I was not able to do. Okay, I was not today, was not able to do. Then refresh, restart the next day. You should not lose heart and say, okay, I was not able to do one day, we don't do it at all. It should not be like that. So we keep on practicing, practicing. So that says the first three agreements will only work if you do your best. Don't expect that you will always be able to be impeccable with your word. Your routine habits are too strong and firmly rooted in your mind, but you can do your best. Don't expect that you will never take anything personally, just do your best. Don't expect that you will never make another assumption, but you can certainly do your best. So we say the fourth agreement is very, 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 very important. That I can certainly do my best. When we have this notion, then all the three other agreements we are able to at least look into, try to practice. So here, if you say any lessons, piano lessons, like I said earlier, example about that badminton tournament, it all is a skill, and skills are built over a consistent period of time with consistent practice. So you have to become a master by repetition. Anything, maybe car driving, swimming, any skill, playing piano, we really keep on doing consistently, we practice, then we become a master of it. So this is also like that. It's like learning swimming or playing piano. We don't learn it in 1 week. We have to consistently practice to be that person who can go and play in the on the stage to mesmerize the audience, isn't it? So we should always do our best in searching that personal freedom, self-love, and honor ourselves with every thought and action that we are doing. So we should always think about, explained all the four agreements. When we follow all this, life will become really beautiful, and we should have the affirmation, I choose to honor the four agreements. So then we move from a place of suffering, pain, freedom, peace, we can cross over this all the obstacles that we face with our strong will. We should have that commitment. We should be like a warrior, to reach us, always be that go-getter and not judge ourselves, no self-judging. Okay, I was not able to do. Okay, I think I'll not, like I said earlier, always encourage and self-motivate yourself, restart, refresh, take one day at a time, take one moment at a time. So here the Toltec whole of this wisdom is about how we transcend from the human experience of suffering and to become the embodiment of God. So that is the reward when you follow these four agreements in your life. So thank you, friends. Thank you all for listening to me. We come to the end of the session. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am, for your wisdom. It's very nice. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Are there anything else, ma'am? Or
Yeah, ma'am.
have we come to the end of the session?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. It's almost 5 o'clock, ma'am.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Prasad, on this meditation and all the people here. Thank you, Ramya ma'am, for giving this wonderful opportunity, wonderful platform to share the wisdom, Toltec wisdom of 4 agreements. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Hi, Vardhini ma'am.
Masters, if anybody has any doubts, you can ask, Masters.
Hi, Gayathri ma'am.
Hello, ma'am. So
Beautiful
nice to
session.
be here. Yeah.
Yeah, me and India, both of us listening in from one phone. Just like to say thank you
Oh,
once
so
again.
nice. Thank you so much.
I get
Oh, hi, ma'am. Thank you so much.
But beautiful. I love this book, and I think the best thing we can do is follow these agreements. So simply, it's good.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely agree with you. It's
For
so
me,
simple
most
but so
important
powerful.
sections, because I made that. Yes, right. So definitely, and you put it very simply and beautifully with examples. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for all the encouragement. Thank you. Ma'am, your voice is breaking. Thank you, India, ma'am. Thank you, Vardhini, ma'am. Yes, masters, anyone else wants to express their views or thoughts? Please go ahead.
Hello, Master. This is Sindhuja.
Hello, ma'am.
Wonderful slides, ma'am. Wonderful, great session also. Thank you so much, ma'am, for taking up this session for Qatar. And one complaint I have actually. The
Yes,
thing
ma'am.
is, I wish I knew this thing before, back in my college days, because this is so much needed, ma'am, to live a better life. That is the only complaint like I have. That's it. Otherwise, even now it is not late. I'll involve in this thing what you explained today and make it a habit, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. So take it as an experience, ma'am. It is everything has a divine timing. When it has to come, it will come. So just without our experiences, we are not able to realize many times. So take it an experience. It comes when it has to come. So don't regret or anything like that.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for sharing your views. Thank you.
Thank you, Masters, for joining today's session. Thank you, Gayatri ma'am, and deep gratitudes to you for taking this session. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Masters, for joining the session. We will meet with another great master next Tuesday. Thank you, everyone.